Story time, aka rant session. So, this is why DIY culture is so prevalent, is because when we trust our homes with handymen, some contractors, they just don't seem to have the level of either interest or dedication to making sure that things get done at least to a decent level. I'm not asking for too much, just basically just make it look decent. So I recently paid somebody, a handyman, to work on installing the door. This was a slab that I ordered. It didn't have any hinge cutouts or any handle cutouts, so I had to order the handle separately. And the hinges I just reused what was here before. And when I communicated with him, I let him know that I'm going to be responsible for painting just because I couldn't figure out how he could make sure that the paint could get done within the same day and all that. So from his recommendation, he said I need to paint the door beforehand, which was fine. And I also anticipated with him using saws to cut the door to size that there's going to be some patchwork needed. Again, not a problem. However, when he was done, he wasn't able to fit the, I don't know what they call this part here, in properly. He told me that I got the wrong handle type, which again, I didn't realize there was a wrong and a right one. And so when I asked him, to send me some pictures of what would make sense to put here if this is not the one, since he said it was wrong, he kept on sending me deadbolt options. And I'm like, this is an interior door. It doesn't need a deadbolt. And he was like, well, you're not understanding me. You got the wrong one. And he wouldn't clarify what or why. He then proceeded to insult my paint job. And I wasn't even complaining about the paint because I had literally texted him to ask him about the rough edges, that you would assume would be smooth when he's done, so that I wouldn't have to do too much work in terms of sanding here, and it's really just a matter of, painting it and calling a day. And he assumed, I guess, that I was talking about the paint job and told me, well, I didn't pay for full service. I only paid him to install the door. And according to him, he said his work is perfect. Now, okay, if it was my fault that I got the wrong handle, understandable. But I would assume, again, you'd help me either problem solve, or I work with other folks who'd be like, if you have the wrong part, I could go out and get you the right one, and then you can reimburse me on the ticket. Never even brought that up. And also, in addition to that, this is literally how the door came in. He didn't bother to wipe it down, put it up there, called it a day. He had swept the general area over here, but then if you just look not too far, he knocked out that doorstop, and there's still like a nice, good pool of wood dust that he had left from, putting a hole in the door while it was in the room. Again, stuff that he had to do, but I'm like, at minimum, please clean up after yourself. And please, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just a light wipe down and smooth edges would be appreciated. And again, if the homeowner is not understanding what you're getting at, just be specific. Because in my head, I'm like, he could chisel this out, and put it in there. But again, I'm not the handy person. He wasn't really clear on what needed to be done. So I'm like, you know what? At this point, I'm going to have to figure it out myself. And for people who might say, well, you get what you pay for, I've paid for great service. I've paid for affordable service. It always ends up just about the same, where something happens, you reach out to them just asking, hey, can you fix this? Is this supposed to be like this? And all of a sudden they turn on you like you were the person who decided to ruin the job. So, just notes in professionalism when when somebody has entrusted you into their home to help out with something, just do your best. I don't even know if you call it the bare minimum. I don't know what to call it, but you feel me? Is this a perfect job? Tell me if I'm crazy.